Welcome to Whole Being Health, Function, Vitality and Mastery. So today's talk is going to be on money versus success. So I'll start this by using a quote that I love, which kind of summarizes this. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. There are a lot of people in the world that are multi-millionaires, millionaires and billionaires. And there was a book written many years ago, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Great book. If you don't have it, you should read it. And in that book, the author talks about how he interviewed about 700 multi-millionaires and billionaires and found that unequivocally across the board, every single one of them was unhappy. Now, most people that don't have money think that the route to happiness is money. What you don't realize when you don't have money at that level is that what most of these people said was the burden of responsibility of having that much money and being able to do either great things or good things with it. Not knowing whether or not people are your friends because you have that money. And then also the responsibility of managing so many businesses, because in order for you to have that sort of money, you typically own multiple businesses, and there are the ability to kind of keep everybody happy. And people trying to take over your company as shareholders to make happy, and just things like that. Properties that you own that may be going under, or that you may have to purchase, or there's a lot of, and some people listen to, I want those problems. But when you read the book and you learn more about most millionaires and billionaires, pretty much across the board, they all say they're unhappy. My point here is that money doesn't make you happy. Money is simply a tool. It's a way to express what you want to do. Now, definitely having money allows you to be able to purchase things, and you can do more good in the world if you have the available funds to do so. But you have to have a passion behind the use of the money to create the happiness that you so desire. If you're a sad person, as I said, because money is an expression of magnification or a magnifying tool, if you have a lot of money, all it does is it magnifies the type of person you are. So if you're an idiot who is now coming to money, it allows you to magnify that idiot within you. So some people say that guy became an idiot when he got money. No, he was an idiot. He just didn't have the money to express it. And now he has the money to express it. Now you're just seeing how it's expressed with wealth. Stats show that 90+%, I think it's even higher than that, maybe 95% or more of people that win the lottery are typically broke within a year of winning the money. Because if you can't manage £2,000, £1,000 a month, you're not going to manage $10 million or 10 million pounds in an immediate time span. So what these people do is they buy everything. They just buy, because they think whatever's lacking in them inside is going to be fulfilled or maintained or sustained by some purchase. Now, when you understand the psychology of the mind always wants something new. So when you purchase something new, think about it. Doesn't matter the value of it. When you purchase something new, how long does the excitement last for? Just think about that. How long does the excitement last for? Let's say you get yourself a new car and you're excited. The initial excitement of actually sitting in that car and saying, this is mine. That's the highest point, the moment that you purchase the car and you first sit in that car and drive it. That's the highest point of that excitement. And then maybe tomorrow you look out the window, you look at your nice new car and you're excited, but you're not as excited as you were the moment you first purchased the car. So that excitement and happiness has already dwindled. 10%, 15%, it's dwindled. And then 2 or 3 months after having that car, are you as excited as you first were when you had the car? No. So the happiness that you try to attain through the acquisition of purchasing cars and houses and all these sort of things, that starts to die down because you become accustomed to those trinkets and you become dead to them. They're just, okay, yeah, I've got this nice house, I've got this nice car. I'm not saying you don't appreciate them, but it's not at the same level. So what I'm saying is people are always trying to find ways to create happiness. through purchasing things, and they think that the money allows them to purchase these things and they get long-term happiness. Well, that's why you have a lot of people that just buy constantly. When you see a lot of these multimillionaires and billionaires, and you say, why do they keep buying houses and homes and keep getting plastic surgery? Because they're looking for that initial rush that is lost from the lack of true happiness. So now we kind of summarized that as an example. Again, it's a longer subject that I can really give credit to at this time. But because I want to kind of touch on the happiness side, I always want to focus on the solution side of things. So when you think about the solutions, what is happiness then? Happiness is doing things that you are passionate about, that you love. It is the ability to be able to help someone in need. It doesn't mean through finance. It could be through a lending hand, through a hug, through education, through coaching, through inspiration, sharing a story. There are moments in time that you can capture by being around people that you love, events that you just love and share. So you can only get these things by internal happiness. Internal happiness happens through appreciation. I remember Tony Robbins, who I have to give credit for doing great work, and he said, stop expecting and start appreciating. And I love that, because when you think about it, if you are always expecting something, like you're expecting money, or you're expecting wealth, or you're expecting a new car, or you're expecting whatever it is, we're always expecting something, expecting someone to like you, someone to date you, someone to approve you, someone to give you the time of day, someone to listen to you. And if these people don't do what you want, then you get upset because you're expecting something. But if you just appreciate what you already have, and you appreciate the time that you spend with people, and the fact that you're alive, and that you may have all 4 limbs, or you may be able to see, or if you appreciate what you already have and want more things because you are focusing on pursuing the best that you can be, then you're happier. But if you're always expecting something, nothing ever meets your criteria, because once you get it, you're expecting something else. And that's why you see a lot of these very rich people that constantly purchase something else. They buy a car, now they have to get another car and another car, because they're always expecting. They need that rush. Another thing to understand about the happiness side of things is there's a part of the brain called the septum pellucidum. It's basically the joy center of the brain. Scientists found, upon studying the size of it, that it's a third of the size it used to be hundreds of thousands of years ago. What that basically means is we find it harder to have joy in our lives. That's why you see people go into extremes, such as taking addictive drugs to find that happiness or that rush, or going on extreme rides, or going to Antarctica, or just doing something extreme, because mild things such as appreciating the weather, or appreciating someone who lets you drive past them in traffic, or someone who opens the door for you. When you don't appreciate these certain things because you need such a high stimulation, nothing makes you happy. Nothing makes you happy. No wealth, no expectation makes you happy. Happiness can only come from inside yourself. Remember, no one is reacting to anything outside. They're not reacting to any event in life. All they're doing is reacting to an internal program, a self-generating program. So if you are appreciating everything in life, then nothing makes you sad, because you're always appreciating. Even when something bad happens, you can always reflect on something good that's already happened in your life to not focus on that bad thing. It doesn't mean everything falls away. It just means you appreciate everything that you have. Now, remember this, happy people, happiness isn't the absence of problems. That's not what happiness is. Happy people are people that are able to, even in the presence of problems, recognize and appreciate. So happy people don't have the best of everything. They deal with things by, no matter whether they have the best or not the best of everything, they still appreciate who and what they are and where they are in their lives. So, happy people don't have the best of everything, they just do the best with everything. Make sure you kind of hear that distinction. Happy people don't have the best of everything, they just make the best of everything. And when you can do that, and you start appreciating rather than expecting, then you will become more successful inside yourself, because the law of attraction vibrates on the frequency that you pull out. So if you're in the state of happiness, appreciation, love, and and just adoring, then the universe attracts exactly that frequency back to you. And the happiness inside is expanded outwardly in your circle, and you attract things that will make you truly happy, whether it's wealth, whether it's a partner, whether it's anything. But it's not because you're focused on the wealth, it's because you see that as part of the things that make up, in general, happiness. So it would be having wealth, as well as having abundance, as well as having people that you can love and appreciate, because you're appreciating everything that comes into your life, not just money, but everything else, wealth, happiness, and so on. So I hope that makes sense to you. Stay healthy, happy, whole, in whole being health.